And I want to make sure that we talk about the fact that this is a guys and a girls scenario. I mean, the things that we talk about today, they don't come from necessarily what you do for a living as much as they come from what you do with what you do for a living. And I want to make sure that we draw that distinction there, because there are so many amazing opportunities right now to work for yourself and to work with these two things that God gave us, these two hands in our bodies. And it's really crazy because I don't think most people realize if there's 165 million people working in the United States at any one time, fully 70 million of those people do something with their hands. And so I think we really need to be careful that we don't stigmatize blue collar jobs, trade jobs, those kinds of things, because there's so much amazing opportunity. And with the shortage we're facing these days, that's where all the money's going as well.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's you caught me. Okay. I was like, definitely love to see a woman with a hammer too. And that's me. I always had my own drill. I always like to build my own stuff. So I totally relate. So all the women out there, hello, make sure if that's your passion, listen to Ken's story, because this is amazing. He really has started from pretty much a hard military background, right? Like not handed to you on a platter. You pretty much grew your business from your idea after working for corporate, and then decided, hey, I can do this.
Yeah, it was great because this was a job that gave you some flexibility. In the summertime, I worked digging ditches. In the wintertime, when it was cold and I was going to school, I still had to finish up my high school. So I would work in the office, and I kind of got like a pretty good, full, well-rounded experience from that time there. And what was really nice about it is I could see how the business was growing, and I could see how they made it grow and how they kind of added on to the things that they were doing and spreading out into areas that they were working in. And at one point they came to me and they said, listen, you kind of know a little bit about everything here. So we want to send you around the country opening up satellite offices because our growth has been so crazy. And so I did that for a few years and then got tired of living out of a suitcase. Anyone who's ever done that knows exactly what I'm talking about. And at some point I said, I'm going to kind of settle down and do my own thing. And that's back in 1986 when Rusk Industries was born. And we started with 6 people and a great idea. And, we have 200 people now in 2 locations. So it's gone pretty crazy. And I've learned a heck of a lot along the way. But again, I'm nothing special when it comes to entrepreneurs. I've always believed that if you know what you want your life to look like, and you can see that with real crystal clear clarity, almost anyone can have that entrepreneurial feeling, because once you know where you're going, your brain just tends to take you there. And so I think that's really important for everybody to know, is that anybody can be an entrepreneur. You aren't born with it. You actually get it through what you want your life to look like.
Yeah, thank you for saying so, because it all starts with that vision, right? It all starts with that fire you feel inside, that little bit of excitement, that little flame, that idea, like that would be so cool. And then to execute that, and then to, continue to work on it and chisel it and just work through the failures and the wins, and to just keep going. And eventually you will find that place, as long as you have the vision at the end, right?
I think it's so important. We actually have the people at our office, we give them these big poster boards, and we give them a box of good old fashioned regular Crayola crayons, the 64 pack, and they literally start to draw. We ask them, what's your comfort, peace, and freedom? Like, what's your nirvana? And they literally start to draw these things. What kind of house would you like to live in? A farmhouse in a rural community, or a condo downtown, or a house in the suburbs. What kind of vehicle would you like to have? A minivan, a motorcycle, an electric car, whatever it might be. What's your charity moment look like? If you had money, what would you do? How would you give it away? We talk about their spirituality. We talk about their health, their hobbies, their pets. Would you like a dog or a cat? And if you did, what kind and what would you name it? So we try to get really deep into them building their vision, because the strength and the power of your brain to support you in taking you down the path to what you want is unmatched by anything. And I can tell you it's worked for me. And it literally can work for anyone as long as they have a really good vision of what they want their life to look like.
Yes, audience out there, did you hear that from Ken? And keep in mind, Ken did not have a college education. He literally started this corporation and this business from a dream and then continued building his dream, keeping those visions, those details. And that's really important that you talked about the details, because a lot of people, oh, I did a vision board. Oh, I kind of put a bunch of stuff on a board and I look at it. There's a Rolex, there's a Ferrari. Oh, there's my mansion. Like, hello, nobody. So you want to get like really extravagant, but really you want to just tap into really what your soul is calling you. So maybe it is just more like a palapa on the beach. I mean, it doesn't have to be luxurious, but really get into the details of what makes your heart sing. What's joyful, like you're saying, your main mantra, your paradigm, the comfort, peace, and freedom. What is going to bring you comfort, peace, and freedom?
It's a really interesting thing, because those three words just kept coming back to me. When I first started writing, it was actually a letter to my daughter, who was suffering from cancer at the time. And I'm glad to say that she's fine today, but that was 5 years of some really scary times for us. And I remember saying to myself, I'm working this business. There's lots of moving parts. I'm spending a lot of time there. I'm chasing dollars and financial statements and all the things that you would do as you run a business, the quality, your customer satisfaction, your employee health and welfare, all that stuff.